In this video, I'm sharing with you how to make the real Jamaican Irish moss drink. So the ingredients are Irish moss, isinglass, linseed, and Arabic gum is also used, but that ingredient is pretty much scarce and pretty much expensive, so I'm not going to use it in this recipe. So a little bit about Irish moss. It is a dried up looking seaweed that is said to contain 15 of the 18 essential elements that make up the human body. This includes considerable amounts of calcium, iodine, sulfur, and potassium, as well as vitamins A, D, E, F, and K. There are two types of Irish moss: the flat moss, which is not as thick when it is boiled, and the coarse moss. The coarse moss is more popular of the two. Now, recent studies have also found that Irish moss does in fact have some great antiviral properties and can help fight the influenza B and mumps viruses. Linseed is also called flax seeds, and it comes from the flax plant, which is an annual herb. Now, linseed is high in fiber and contains a gummy material called mucilage, both of which expand when they come in contact with water. They add bulk to stool and help it move more quickly through the intestines. And it is also good for arthritis, and it also good for heart diseases. So a lot of health benefits from consuming linseed. Isinglass is fish gelatin, and you can Google to learn more about isinglass. I already washed the Irish moss on the running water. That's the tap water. Yes, wash thoroughly to remove any sort of impurities, sands, especially. And then I put it to soak for about 20 minutes in some water. So I have a pot with about 4 cups of water, and so I'm gonna put the Irish moss into the water. And again, you have to ensure that it is really free from impurities, sands, and them something there. I put 2 teaspoons of linseed into some water and soak it for 20 minutes. Now I'm gonna add it to the pot with the Irish moss. And by the way, I'm using 4 grams of Irish moss. I added a few pieces of isinglass, and so I'm gonna boil all the ingredients and covered on medium heat for about 25 minutes. After 25 minutes, I remove the pot from heat, so I'm gonna strain off the liquid and I'm gonna discard everything else. I'm gonna dash with everything else because it's only the liquid me see my people them use. Most people when me I grow up, only the liquid one them use. So that the recipe there me I go off of what me used to. You see me? Yeah, man. I strain off the liquid and I am gonna allow it to cool a bit. So I am pouring some of the liquid into a mason jar, and I am gonna allow it to cool completely before closing the jar and put it in the fridge. So this is my Irish moss gel the day after, and if you notice I did not sweeten it, so this is unsweetened. So whenever time I'm making smoothie like banana and papaya smoothie, I would put like a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons in the smoothie, or I can just put like a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of the unsweetened gel into a blender and then pour some nutriment or almond milk, even though I don't like almond milk, so I mostly use nutriment, and put my nutmeg. If I want, I can put jargon or guineas. Yeah, man, I make a nice punch. The same way that the Irish moss boiled, I pour some into a mason jar and then allow it to cool. So now I am pouring some into a glass to make a punch. So I added nutriment to the Irish moss. The liquid is a little bit still warm. Yes, because I made this on the same day that the Irish moss boiled, as I mentioned before. So I like to prepare it while the liquid is still warm because it will turn into gel. So I'm pouring some vanilla to flavor out the punch. And then I'm adding just a little bit of salt, just a pinch of salt, and of course some freshly grated nutmeg, and then just give it a good stir. Yeah, man. And this is the real Jamaican Irish moss. This is the real Jamaican Irish moss. When I was a child growing up in the 90s, they call it Irish moss and linseed. But somehow them take off the linseed and just call it Irish moss. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. The same authentic Jamaican Irish moss. Thanks for watching. Walk good until next time. Remember to subscribe to the channel and click the post notification bell. Peace.